Here's Derrick in New Mexico. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hello, Eddie, Sebastian, Carrot Top, and Richard Christie. Hey, Eddie. I was the one that I met you actually in the pit area at the Scorpions with you, Ron, and Snake. Were in the pit, and to back up what you said, you guys were actually like in the back of the pit area. You know what I mean, like kind of seeing over everybody. You know what I mean, instead of trying to go towards the front or whatever. But you know what? To be honest, I posted this too on the Trunk page, on the Trunk Nation page, and it actually got a lot of comments. Good. Some people went kind of back and forth about it and stuff like that. To be honest, I mean, everybody pays their money. This is just me. This is my opinion. To me, everybody pays their hard-earned money, right? You know what I mean? So, and just like you said, depending on what show you're going to go to, if it's a rock show, the rock people do not want to see you sitting down. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? If I was in a rock band and I saw somebody sit, I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, why aren't you up getting, stuff like that? And but there's been times too at even like an REO Speedwagon, and it was at a theater show, and I was standing up the whole time, and there was people that were like sometimes they would sit, sometimes they would stand. I'm like, I'm enjoying this. Doesn't matter what song it is. I'm paying for it. I'm like you. I prefer to stand the whole time of the show. If I can get a GA ticket, I will. And, for me, if somebody really, really wants to sit batting up at a show, I think that they should go online and try as bad as they can to get like one of the first rows, like in the upper bowls, you know what I mean? So that way there's nobody in front of you and you know that already. But, you know what I mean? Because there was another discussion on the Trunk Nation page where, they were saying, oh, well, if you want to stand, like, we'll get a floor ticket. And I responded back. I said, well, you know what? I said, sometimes if you can get a floor ticket. What if you can't afford a floor ticket? You know what I mean? So if it's like
but
that,
the floor ticket would have to be GA, because if floor ticket, just because you're on the floor, if there's seats, it's the same thing. If there's seats on the floor and somebody sits down behind you and you're standing, they might. I mean, I've seen people tap somebody on the shoulder who's standing when they sat down, like, hey, can you sit down? Same thing, Derrick. They turn around, like, hey, man, no, I want to stand. I paid for this. This is what I want to do. You do what you want to do. So that's where you start getting some of the drama about this.
Yeah, exactly. And there was another comment on the page where it said that if they try to get the aisle seat, which I do too, because I go to the bathroom, I go to get a beer often, and I'm just trying to be nice instead of being in the middle of the whole section and having to go through all the way everybody's way just to get out and come back and forth all those times. I always try to get an aisle seat, and somebody's behind me sitting down, you can kind of scoot out in the aisle a little bit and still rock out and give them, a chance to see if they're sitting down. You know what I mean? So it can go both ways, but for me, it's standing. And there's been times at concerts. I have a bunch of stories, but I'll let you get to other callers. But thanks, Eddie, for letting me get on there, sir.
Yeah, you got it, Derrick. Thank you, and thanks for getting the people involved on the page there. It's another way to have a discussion about this.